I'm standing in front of the Café Paris in Gravelbourg, which is a place that's apparently special to my husband Paul. I have not yet been here before. I'll be sharing this place with him in spirit, as he used to spend quite a bit of time here when he had to travel around Moose Jaw for work. It's a kind of special thing to be able to come here to the Café Paris, where Paul used to sit and drink London fogs, which is exactly what I'll be ordering today. I got my first look at the gorgeous Co-Cathedral on my way into Gravelbourg, and it's beautiful. And I'm so excited to have the potential to be able to see it here coming up in a few minutes. Well, probably an hour and a half or so. And tonight there will be Mass there, so I'll have the privilege of attending Mass there. Gravelbourg is a French Catholic community here in the heart of the Canadian prairies. So in the early 1900s, Father Gravel, whom this town is named for, invited many French settlers to come to Canada to share in the joy that is the Gravelbourg community. And to this day, there are many wonderful French-Canadian settlers in this area. In 1917, a priest named Father Maillard came and began to work with the town of Gravelbourg and the surrounding area. And his first act when he got here was actually to go and visit all of the communities and all of the people and all of the families under his care. That was no small feat in 1917, as the area was growing quite a bit, and it gained him a lot of respect in the community. What gained him even more respect in the community was the fact that he opened at the time he opened the hall for the church during a severe influenza epidemic and made it into an emergency hospital. And this was greatly appreciated by the people who lived here. And as someone who had the flu just last week, and I mean, I really did have influenza. I had every symptom that I can think of it. I would greatly have appreciated to have folks looking after me in a space where my needs were being met. So that gave him a lot of credence in the community, and he was very well loved in this area. Not only that, but he was a painter. And after the church began to be built here, and so this would be 1918, 1919, that the cathedral in Gravelbourg was built. He was the one who went out to Montreal to find an appropriate architect to get the church built, and he was also the one who began to paint the interior of the church after it was built in the early 1920s. It took him 10 years from 1921 to 1931 to complete the interior paintings of the church. This is an amazing touch of London fog. I'm really excited to be here at the Our Lady of the Assumption Co-Cathedral, and I'm very excited to be using a little gadget I brought along, a fisheye lens adapter for iPhone. This is my first chance to really use it in a way that makes it very special and exciting. The Our Lady of the Assumption Co-Cathedral is where I'm going to be attending Mass tonight. It's a Saturday. Saturday night Masses are fairly common in the Catholic Church. To go with the original time that church was held, or that religious services were held for the Jewish people, there's actually a lot of symbolisms and ideas that come directly from the Jewish religion, in Catholicism specifically. There have been a number of Jewish people who have ended up converting to Catholicism that have commented upon this, and if you're interested in learning more about that, I can certainly lead you to some information. I'm just excited to be here today because I've been waiting to go to this church to see the artwork for many years. I remember hearing about it as one of the great art treasures of Saskatchewan when I was in art school. I've heard about it now from many other Catholics and many other art appreciators. And so for me, it is the culmination of my life as an artist, and my life as a Catholic, to be in a place like this, attending Mass at a church this beautiful and this majestic. The architecture in this cathedral is based on a number of different periods in history. So you can see that the building is made of yellow brick, and that's a pretty common building material that you'll see in Saskatchewan in the early 1900s. I think that there were a number of brick-making establishments Especially, I know there's some around Saskatoon, some around Regina. There's definitely lots of places that made brick, and brick was a very common building material in Saskatchewan around that time. There's also a lot of really awesome stained glass windows in this church. I'm really hoping to be able to share them with you. From the outside, you can see the one in the very front of the church is depicts Our Lady of the Assumption. The Assumption, of course, being the tradition that Mary was taken up bodily into heaven in the same manner as Elijah and some of the other, Elisha, I believe, and some of the other ones in the Old Testament. I think Moses and Elijah both are said to have been taken bodily into heaven, and you see them, the two of those characters, also at Jesus' own transfiguration, being taken up bodily into heaven. That tradition is called the Assumption of Mary, and this church is dedicated to the Assumption of Mary.
In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
The grace of our Lord Jesus Christ, the love of God, and the communion of the Holy Spirit be with you.
With your spirit.
What number of you is it?